Hello and welcome back to another character preview video. My name's Lumin and today we're having a look at XDefiant. This is Ubisoft's latest and greatest, and in this game worlds collide in a free-to-play, first-person arena shooter where you compete to be the best in fast-paced online matches. It looks pretty cool. It looks like Ubisoft's take on Overwatch, I guess you could say, but a little different. They're using factions here instead, with characters inside those factions, and the really cool part is that these factions come from all the other Ubisoft games. And then the actual moment-to-moment gameplay seems very Call of Duty. It's quite fast-paced with a low time to kill. As I mentioned earlier, the factions are pretty interesting. Let me show you what I mean. These guys here, the cleaners, are from Tom Clancy's The Division. You may recognize some of them. These ones over here, the Phantoms, are from Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Phantoms. Libertad from Far Cry 6. Echelon, well, those guys don't need introduction. You can see where they're from, Splinter Cell. And finally DedSec from Watch Dogs 2. And I think that this system, it will allow them to seamlessly and or effortlessly add new factions later on in the future, because they've got a lot of history to draw on for this, and it could be really cool. I don't know much about the gameplay itself, but I will rely on you guys to tell me all about that. For this video, we're going to be jumping in and just checking each of the factions out, and then having a look at the characters in said factions with a couple of extras at the end, like the loadouts and stuff like that. If you'd like to do a deep dive to discover all there is to discover about this game, you can find some links below. There will also be timestamps. So, let's jump in. First up, we have the cleaners, pyrotechnicians, these division agent antagonists, and ex-NYC sanitation workers solve all their problems with one tool: fire. Cleaners specialize in area denial. Their abilities are the Purifier. This is sort of hidden behind the text. It's a bit of it must be a bug. I don't know. The Purifier, a flamethrower that ensures enemies are thoroughly sterilized. That's their Ultra. It's like their ulti ability, basically, from Overwatch fame. Then we have the Incinerator Drone. That's an activated ability. Napalm delivering drone burns everything in its flight path before exploding. Then we have Firebomb. It's all fire. I can see it's all fire. Detonate a Molotov cocktail, causing explosive damage and igniting the area. And finally, their passive is Incendiary Rounds. Ammo inflicts extra burn damage, but decreases the weapon range. Pretty cool. Hot stuff. First character is green. Then we have DeRosa and Kersey. These all look pretty similar, obviously, but I think that was the idea. They want the factions to look similar, but have different characters within those factions. You can set your favorite. I don't think that the characters are different from one another. It's just a way to distinguish yourself from other players. You pick a character, the one that you like. So it's just a cosmetic thing. Maybe there'll be different voices and stuff like that. Next up, we have the Phantoms, future soldiers. These are from Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Phantoms. Their factional ability, their Ultra is Aegis. Spherical plasma shield combined with... oh wait, before we get ahead of ourselves. Also known as the Shadow Team. I meant to read this first. This elite squad of ex-ghosts wields tomorrow's battlefield tech to defend, disrupt, and destroy. They basically have everything covered there, don't they? They also have some terrifying masks. And now their faction abilities, because I am a professional. Aegis. Ultra. Spherical plasma shield combined with point-blank electro scattergun for close quarters combat. That actually sounds pretty cool. Mag Barrier is their first activated ability, electromagnetic barrier that blocks incoming enemy fire and grenades. Then they have a Blitz Shield, also activated. Equip a tactical shield, press the melee button for a shield bash. Finally, their hardened trait, health increased via tailored gene therapies. Alright, they sound like a tough bunch indeed. I mean, they do sound like the tanks, right? Then we have Singa, Rhino, and Gorgon. I mean, these guys all wear similar suits. They sort of just look a little different, each of them. Like, these guys have bigger vests on, these two, and she's got a slightly slimmer outfit on. They all have the same kinds of little doodads strapped to them everywhere. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Libertad from Far Cry 6, the freedom fighters. These resourceful revolutionaries fight to free their Caribbean nation of Yara. They're Supremo at improvised medical assistant. These guys are the support, basically. You'll see that on their abilities. Medico Supremo is their ulti. Deploy a Medico backpack for a large health and healing boost in a limited area. Their two activateds are Biovida Boost, a fortifying wave, Boosts total health and regen for you and nearby allies. And then El Remedio. Throw a revitalizing gas canister that heals friendlies until destroyed or cancelled. Then their passive, Espiritu de Libertad. The contagious spirit of freedom slowly heals you and nearby allies. Wow. That's very idealistic. I like that. Okay. So, full support. They have a huge amount of healing and support stuff. The characters are Iselda, Beto, and Celeste. Pretty cool. They look nice. Hey, at least there's a faction that's not covering their face with masks, right? Next up, we have Echelon. These guys, they don't really need an introduction. You can sort of see who they are based on those goggles. They're from Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell. Echelon super spies. The NSA's Echelon agents don't shy away from a firefight, but they'd rather keep enemies in the dark with subterfuge and info warfare. Their ulti is sonar goggles. Reveal enemies and hunt them with Sam Fisher's 5.7 pistol. I assume it's the silenced one, that iconic pistol that he uses. Their actives are digital ghillie suit. Renders the agent nearly invisible. Movement and aiming reduce the effect. Intel suit. Activated ability. Periodic sonar waves share positions of enemies around you with default pulse tuning. I don't know what that means. And their passive is low profile. Your character does not appear on opponents' minimaps, regardless of actions performed. Then our characters here are Mali, Samir, and Rafa. It's cool. Yeah. They look great. They look great. I love the suit. The detail on these models is pretty phenomenal. The final faction. DedSec. These guys are from Watch Dogs 2. They are cyber attackers, notorious hacktivists who rely on backdoor exploits and denial of service attacks to frustrate foes and corps alike. Their ultra is lockout, prevent enemies from using their ability and ultras in an area of effect. Activated ability, hijack, hack enemy deployed abilities and make them your own. Spiderbot, deploy a spiderbot that'll target and stun the nearest foe via face hug. Okay, that's pretty scary. And then finally, fabricators, they're passive. After a device is deployed, the fabricator prints a new one. So these guys have a lot of devices that they can use. That's pretty cool. Characters are Jing, Sebastian, and Gia, or Gia. Very colorful. I'm a big fan. I think they look really cool. And that is that for the factions. I will once again say I really like the idea of bringing factions in from other games. They are varied, they are interesting, and they seem kind of fun. So yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what they do in the future with this. Like with new seasons, they could always just add a new faction as part of the content. And that could be good. It could be. Now, as one quick extra here, I'm going to show you what the loadouts look like. You can customize your loadouts almost entirely. There's a lot to do. You have a lot of slots there to use. You can pick your primary weapons here, and your secondaries also sort of in similar fashions. There are assault weapons, SMGs, shotguns, LMGs, marksman, and sniper weapons. And each of these can be customized almost completely. Muzzle, barrel, front rail, optics, magazine, rear grip, stock, and I think they also have skin slots. I obviously don't have a skin for this gun right now, but you can change the skins on them. And then these are the secondary firearms. Bunch of interesting looking pistols. And then finally grenades. There you go. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm not a big loadout guy. Like, I don't play games with loadouts like this very often, so I don't know what to say about it really, but I like the idea. More customization is better. It would be cool if there were like skins and stuff for characters too, but I guess that doesn't really fit the style that they went for here. Like, your skin is basically the character that you pick in your faction, so that's most likely more than enough. If they could add more characters to the factions, eventually that could also be kind of cool for people. But overall, I really like the idea of this. I haven't played the game myself. I've watched the trailers and I've seen some footage. When I did try jump in, the servers weren't up, so I sort of got put off by that. But if any of you guys have played this, you can let me know whether you like it or not, whether it's fun, whether it's good, whether it has a chance in the current gaming environment. Because a lot of these games are coming out, you know, there are tons of games, and they really need to perform quite well for them to make it, you know. So I wonder, do you guys think this game has what it takes? I kind of like what I've seen here, but I'm not sure if that's enough. That does bring me, however, to the end of the video. You can check back here soon for more, as always. Give this one a like, share it, and do all that other good stuff. Subscribe if you haven't already. And, hey, good luck fragging out in XDefiant. Happy that.